care about all this. But why we're really here today is because of our dear old Auntie Wendy. Auntie Wendy is back in the news. Literally, though, it's kind of like that's a weekly thing now at this point. There's always something coming out about Wendy Williams now, and it's unfortunately has yet to be good news, and it's unfortunately it's just been a whirlwind with her, and even through me doing this, pulling the clips and pulling what I pull today, I was like, I really want to do a deep dive because I'm a super fan of Wendy, not always of her antics and some of the shenanigans. Her shenanigans were hurtful. We don't really do that. We drag people though. We will drag people who deserve it. But anyway, it made me want to do a deep dive. I was like, we should do like a deep dive live and kind of walk through a timeline. That's how my nerdy brain works. Like I want to get more deeper into it. But anyway, what we're going to cover today is what just came out a couple days ago. Everybody talking about it. I saw it and I was like, oh, let me get my 2 cents in there too. So it is, according to page 6, Wendy Williams, financial advisor, hires armed security amid death threats. So I don't know how many of you remember this, but she had a friend who was also her financial advisor at Wells Fargo. Recently, what was it? Was it close to a year ago? This friend stated that she has suspicion that people were starting to take advantage of Wendy Williams, and with her health, mental health, and things we've been seeing, Wendy ain't Wendy. And we see her in these interviews, and unfortunately, everyone I've seen, I've been cringing. It's sad for me to watch because she just is. It's like a shell of herself most of the time. Sometimes you'll see little moments of where she seems coherent, but she just looks frail. It's just a lot. So anyway, this lady who was her friend notified Wells Fargo and, basically the justice system, saying she needs a conservator because people are trying to take advantage of her. We don't want people to run through her money. Now, the conspiracy is that this person and people at Wells Fargo are actually the people, and other people are the people who are actually trying to get in her pockets and control her money so that it can benefit them. So anyway, Wendy Williams ended up blasting this lady, Lori Schiller, and saying, she's a horrible person. She was my friend, and she's basically a predator, and she caused this, she caused this in a way, and she's being trying to take advantage of me. So that caused Wendy Williams fans to go after this lady, and she's been receiving threats, threats of taking her life, etc. And so that leads us to where we are with this article. So I'm going to read a little bit of it. I'm going to read quite a bit of it because this is like her quote. I didn't want to do it from here. I forgot. As I was going through it, I was like, I pulled all those clips, and then I didn't want to have my face blocked all while I'm reading that whole thing. We learning over here, people. We still learning. Amateur growing. Amateur growing. Here we go. So it says here, Wendy Williams, financial advisor, claims she's a prisoner in her own home and has been forced to hire armed security to protect her family from death threats. Lori Schiller exclusively tells page 6 that ever since the former daytime talk show host publicly claimed she canned the Wells Fargo advisor, meaning she fired her, she's been going through hell. So after Wendy Williams was like, I fired her because she was stealing my money or whatever, she says she's been going through hell. She says, I have a 24-hour armed police officer outside of my house, kind of vetting everyone that comes to my front door. It's starting to affect my life. I'm a prisoner in my own home, she tells us, adding that her continued work on the account has been putting her family at risk. I'm kind of living in my own personal hell here, she said. Schiller tells page 6 that despite Williams' claims, she was never fired, and she is still the lead advisor on the account amid the talk show host's lawsuit against the bank. So while this is all going on, Lori Schiller is saying that what Wendy claimed that she had fired her is not true. Well, it could be true that Wendy fired her, but it didn't make it official. She says that she She says she's been having all positive conversations with Wendy Williams, with whom she was very close for 12 years. So she says she's still communicating with Wendy in regards to her accounts and all of these other things. So it seems like, now this is, for me, and it's a lot with this situation where you don't know what's quite true, these different versions of the story, because again, Wendy Williams could have fired her, but didn't have the power to fire her when she tried to fire her, so it didn't stick. But it also could be, we've seen Wendy Williams make many claims over the past few months, like being married, saying she was married. That's not true. It doesn't even look like she's dating anyone. And then, you know, there's been other things. She's doing podcasts, not doing a podcast, but she's doing podcasts. She was telling us, when you seen that podcast, she was opening a restaurant and all these other things. And so it could have been a moment where Wendy wasn't lucid at the time, possibly, when she said that she had fired her old friend. Says, despite the public lashing from 58-year-old Williams following the Wells Fargo February claims that she needs a guardian, Schiller says she has been lauded internally by the bank for the work that she's done to protect Williams from those who mean her financial harm, but the bank won't publicly support her. This is all interesting. She says, all I've done was follow the law to the T, and I've been praised by Wells Fargo for all of my efforts, Schiller said. Noting that the bank is footing the bill for her home security. I've given them ample time to come to my defense and make a statement, and for some reason, they are just putting it all to the side. Schiller and her attorney, Anthony Mango, who was also present during the phone conversation, said that there's an alleged there is allegedly a gag order in place with the lawsuit, which since has been sealed. So they couldn't discuss specifics about the ongoing case. She did, however, note that Wells Fargo, not Schiller, pursued the guardianship over Williams because of a pattern of behavior that made issues apparent. So, and this goes to the question that I saw in the chat last night that I addressed, where someone was saying, could I do basically a story time, Vail story time on this case of the transcripts. And then I was sharing that the case has been sealed. So we won't be seeing those sort of things. But yeah, they're saying the case is sealed. And then Schiller is saying here that she's not the one that actually pursued the guardianship over Williams. It was the Wells Fargo. And then I heard that there was the thing that got it kicked off was that her son was trying to buy, Kevin Jr. was trying to buy a condo in Florida. And I guess due to that, and I remember hearing about him supposedly spending allegedly $100,000 on top of that. And so it looks like the claim is basically it was his activity that kind of got this jumped off. So I think they're trying to allude to him being one of the main suspects of why they felt she needed to be protected. It says, Wells Fargo took the lead, she said. I just don't think people understand the complexities of what's going on behind the scenes. It's really a bad time for guardianship, Schiller adds, alluding to Britney Spears' recent freedom from her own conservatorship. So remember, guys, those of you who caught it, I did the story on Britney Spears getting out of her guardianship and her sending out messages saying she wished her father will burn in hell because she claims that he abused her during her guardianship in many ways, her and everyone he hired. So she says, Schiller explains that the guardian, who was appointed shortly after Wells Fargo initial filing, serves as the conduit between Williams and Wells Fargo. Wendy Williams experienced author has access to her money that is meant to support her livelihood, but the guardian will object to requests that appear to be from someone exerting undue influence over Williams. While we're unable to discuss the employee matters, the Wells Fargo, the financial well-being of our client is at the heart of everything we do, a spokesperson for Wells Fargo told Page Six on Friday. Williams' former attorney, LaShawn Thomas, I pulled the picture and then pulled the picture, forgot to pull it in here. But she said, but they say Williams' former attorney, LaShawn Thomas, told Page Six in May that she was shocked, not in agreement with the Guardian. Williams has been very clear that she does not want a financial guardian to tell her what she can and cannot do with her money, Thomas said. Thomas added that Williams feels that she is capable of hiring her own team who would work for her and not the court. And I don't know, those people who were around her look a little suspicious, to be honest, allegedly. Williams, Wells Fargo has no questions and answers regarding my money. This is not fair, and Lori Schiller and Wells Fargo has the guardianship petition about keeping me away from my money, Williams said in a video post to social media. Oh, that was this video. I actually did a video on this too. She was discombobulated with this, and you could tell in this particular video that someone was coaching her behind the scenes, and she was fidgeting, like doing this with her sweater while she was talking. She fidgeted on her show, but this was like abnormal. And especially for someone who's used to, talking and commanding a crowd and stuff. And yeah, you could definitely tell it wasn't just her doing it. It was, she was being coached. She even smiled at some point, like somebody was telling her maybe pull that down, because she was like, ooh, I wasn't supposed to be doing that. Just a month later, however, Williams would check back into rehab facility to treat her alcohol addiction issues. And this was when she looked a little healthier here. This was right because that Bernie guy, her manager, the one she hired right after she fired Kevin and divorced him, she looked healthy in that moment. And then it's just like, I'm sure the show was probably still out then. It's just been a decline from there. She says, I'm being blamed for her being in rehab, Schiller claims. Williams completed treatment in October, with her rep, Sean, telling Page Six that at the time she had returned home and was healing. There's a quote saying, "Thank you to my fans for your love, support, and many prayers. I'm back and better than ever." Williams added a statement of her own. I don't be trusting those statements, because she's always saying, I'm back, I'm better than ever. And then we end up with a news story or some TMZ catching her going to the liquor store, sending the Uber driver in to get the bottle of liquor when she noticed that everybody's filming her, all kind of stuff. Wandering back and forth in the street, getting ready to get in the car, but then somebody's talking to her, and then she kind of seems like she forgets that she was getting ready to leave and get in the car, and she turns back around, goes back in her building. It's a lot, y'all. I don't know if y'all seeing all that stuff. While Williams, who was photographed this week back in her iconic purple chair, is doing better than ever, Schiller tells us that that serving has both the bank and Williams scapegoat has taken its toll. So lastly, I do not want to leave Wells Fargo. I want to make it work, Schiller said. I've given them 10 months of my life to come to my defense. And they need to do the right thing. It's really more about my future career, to grow my career from here, to set the record straight. It's not fair that I'm being target of death threats, Schiller says, that my 11-year-old daughter has to sleep in my bed out of fear. So it says reps for Williams didn't immediately return the request from Page Six for comment. So yeah, that's the update on that. I'm now with this Lori Schiller. I'm like, I'm hoping you got enough money to afford your own security, because you doing this and going to Page Six and blasting your current employer may not be the best decision if you ain't trying to get fired. And especially if they're saying it's like a gag order on this whole thing, that might be, a way for them to, use as reason for termination. But I don't know about all that. Let me put my glasses on, y'all. Everything else I could read decently, but y'all comments I can't. So once again, I'm handling this by myself, so bear with me. It's gonna be a little discombobulated, but do the best I can. I'm gonna start that one. Just keep us on topic. Precious G, I'm from Jersey, grew up Wendy from her radio show days. Yeah, I got hip to Wendy around when she was on the radio, but once her show started to hit the internet, once that became a thing, she was one of the first radio shows I ever remember being able to listen to through the internet, no matter where you were. Yeah, so I definitely remember that as well. When I heard that story about that person that works in the bank, the employee, I can't help but to think they plan to rip off Wendy. Well, yeah, and that's one of the theories. I don't know. Like she said, there's complexities to this. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm always hesitant to like drag people because I need receipts. Y'all see how I operate over here. Like I need receipts. Like all this other stuff is speculation based on, various articles and stuff, but we don't have the stuff is sealed. We can't see the court documents. We don't really know all the things that may have caused this to start. We know the stuff they've shared with us in media, the 100K with her son, and now hearing, also the condo purchasing thing and all of that. But what else was there? Because those ain't with somebody who's as rich as Wendy has reported. When I looked into it a while back, it was saying she's worth like $50 million or so. And so for somebody like that to spend 100K or 100K, and then maybe a condo might have been another, 300 to 500K, depending on where it's located. It wouldn't be a huge deal. So I'm thinking there had to be more that led up to those things. And then that was the icing on the cake. Like, wait a minute, there's some suspicion, potentially. This is just a theory from my brain, how my brain works. So, but who knows, because there are people that set them up. And I mentioned to y'all before the Netflix movie was it a movie or series? I think it was a movie that I saw, and it was like, I Care That Much or something. It was about a lady who would set up older people who didn't have, spouses and kids and stuff. And she would set them up to take conservatorship over them and try to make it like they were crazy so that she could take over their wealth. So there are people that do that. Wasn't Wendy dating a cop? I think Wendy dated a cop she did shortly after the show, but then, that ended. And would we be surprised based on what's been going on? Yeah, Wendy's been done so wrong. Yeah, Wendy has definitely been through a lot. Like literally, it just seems like from the time her mother passed away, well, from the time she fainted in that Statue of Liberty costume, it was just downhill from there. I think her mother's death was I can't remember if her son getting sick from bad drugs was the first thing or the fainting, but it was those two things. And then her mom passed, and then her divorce, and it was like back to back to back. So yeah, she is definitely I don't know, done wrong, and you mean by people, but life too has taken a toll on her. And some people say it's karma. I do truly believe in karma. It's sad if karma comes like this, but I do believe in it. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to read y'all comments to put what's applicable on display, but also read to y'all and read to myself. Let her have her money. She earned it. I read somewhere she wants to give it to her son. Yeah, I don't know, Purple Lady. I'm torn with that because of the fact it is clear that Wendy is not 100% in her doesn't 100% have all of her faculties currently. It is very clear. I've seen too much that tells me that Wendy ain't, even if she said that out of her mouth, I would be like, you sure? Like, I don't know, Wendy. Like, let's sit on this, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's true. Messing with people's money can take a toll on your mental. Absolutely. Okay. And then just for the sake of time, because I do need to be getting out of here too. It's time to hit the road. says they need to leave Wendy alone. It's very sad of what has happened to her, in my opinion. Wendy didn't have loyal people on her staff. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that what Wendy, it's sad to say, but as horrible as Kelvin Hunter was to her, he was actually good for her in a way, because I do believe that he held her together with the pressures of this life that she lives. Like, he was truly her protector. And even when you read her first book, the Wendy Williams Experience, if I'm not mistaken, even when you read that book, you see how Kelvin came in her life as a protector, basically like a bodyguard. And she needed that for the level that she was going to. So, yeah, I agree. I think her divorce with Kevin and his cheating messed her up too. Absolutely, yeah. Basically, I was just saying that. Absolutely, that was the icing on the cake. It just really went down after that. Did you know that her brother has a YouTube channel also? Absolutely, I know that. I actually did a video. I don't know if I did more than one video, but I definitely did at least one video on him. I don't know if I'm still subscribed, but I was subscribed at one point. I started to I actually communicated with him too behind the scenes, because I was trying to help him out a little bit with some stuff. And in the very beginning, it seemed innocent enough. And I got it, because I'm like, just because your relative is famous doesn't mean that you shouldn't be in the public eye in any kind of way. It doesn't mean you're clout chasing necessarily and all of that. However, after time of his stuff popping up and the different things that were happening with Wendy, I started to notice, and I'm like, this ain't this. This is kind of what people were telling me. And I know some people who know some people. Yeah, I know some stuff behind the scenes with that too. And I was told in the very beginning some stuff, and I was like, oh, but from what I'm watching, he seemed innocent enough. And then I saw he did an interview with Tasha K. He did, I think he was on Chronicle Speaks too, if I'm not mistaken. And he made us the junket on YouTube. Take that with a grain of salt, but I was kind of like, the stuff he was saying, I was like, nah. And then for me, the icing on the cake was the fact that when you look at his videos, and again, I can't remember if I even finally unsubscribed, but you look at his videos and he saw his growth, because he jumped to 14,000 subscribers in a matter of weeks or whatever. And I thought he was going to grow too. And I think he's still there. The last I looked, he was still at that same number, and he'll have like 5 people in his live chats, where it was like hundreds at first. But every video is Wendy Williams. I'm at the park today. Wendy Williams going fishing. And it's, why are you starting all of your video titles with your sister's name when those videos and the content in it has nothing to do with her? And that for me was like, okay, I see what this is. And although he'll claim to have his sister's back and all these other things, I'm like, you're not doing it right. I can't believe that her son and family are not doing right by her, like getting her the help she needs. Yeah, again, I don't know what's truly happening behind the scenes. We did see that, or we're hearing that at one point she wasn't allowing her son to come up to her apartment. Then I heard the more recent was the son was the only one she was letting from the family come see her. So I don't know how true that was, but I do know with her son supposedly not being allowed to come up to her apartment, Tommy, her brother, went on his channel and kind of ranted about that. I almost did a story on it, and for whatever reason I didn't. Okay, I'm gonna jump to the star comments. I only got 2 of them here, and I'm gonna have to let y'all. Oh, I only got 1 of them here. The other one was me. Be blessed. Veil, try Emo's Pizza and tour the Arch. The Arch is something I still have not been to, and I've been here to St. Louis even before the Tim Norman trial. Like, I've been here many times, actually. A handful of times, I say. Probably like 6+ times even prior to the trial. And I still have not made it to the Arch. And that's probably where I should have went yesterday. It didn't even cross my mind. Just go to the Arch and walk around. But I'm going to have to do that the next time I'm here, because y'all know I'll be coming back until March, until we get Tim under the jail. And I went by Emos yesterday when I went to Shaw Park, whatever that community was. It's downtown something it's called. It was literally right by the park, but I was trying to eat better on this trip. And so my cheat day was going back to Lefties to have the Chinese food. So I was like, I'm gonna have to save Emos because I've gotten that suggestion a few times on my trips here. So I will get Emos pizza the next time that I'm in St. Louis. Absolutely. Now I'm jumping. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Y'all ain't seeing what I'm doing, but I ain't mean clicking on the wrong stuff. And then this, I don't know, y'all. I hate that I didn't have ability to just have y'all comments on the screen. Thank you so much for this, Deborah. So the intro song is Factory Rims by Xavier Russin. The jazz song, oh dang, you really did it. Jazz song, Matt Large, and that is the title. Then I Met You. Thanks to Shazam. Thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate that, Deborah. And now this makes it easier for me when I rewatch this. I'm gonna type it in the comments section. I know I recognize the name of this song. I recognize this title, so I know for a fact you got it spot on. I'm glad I caught your comment before I hit it out of here. It was something that I didn't want me to let y'all go quite yet, and I'm glad that that hit me. Big hugs, everyone. Have an amazing day. I think that is a great way to end this. So I'm going to head out of here. Thank you so much to our front end moderators. We got Lisa Diane Hunt, Precious G. I think that's Marianne Coker. Yes. Hope I ain't missing nobody else. Thank all of you, and thank all of you for joining me just for this quick little powwow. And I will be back with another live and other videos and all that good stuff. Y'all know how we do. If y'all want to make sure you stay connected and that you know when I'm coming back, make sure to join our purpose-driven Facebook community to interact with us. I'll be pinning this also in our comment section once I get off of this video. So you can click the link and come on over there, and I will just be communicating with y'all between videos as I normally do. So with that, I'm going to send you all out once again. I didn't pull up enough clips. I was still rushing this morning. Let's get y'all something to go out on. It's taking ever. Come on now. Okay, here we go. Oh, that was perfect. All right. So with that, make sure to take care, be blessed, be safe out there in on the East Coast. And until next time, take care.
5, 6, 7, 8. Why you gotta lie so much? You must wake up and just make up stuff. Cause I just do not understand why every time you talk, you tell a quick lie. You and your lies gotta go because I'm tired of talking to Pinocchio. Then you had a nerve to look folks in the eyes, knowing that you telling them lies. You been telling them lies. I asked you about this. Yeah, you lied about it. I asked you about that. Yeah, you lied about it. Get them lies together, they all over the place. I bet if Jesus came back, you a lie to his face. Damn, Pinocchio. I guess you wanna see how far your nose can grow. I said Pinocchio. I guess you wanna see how far your nose can grow. Now, boo! Let's go. Stop telling all them lies, number one. Let's go. Cause I don't believe that you say at this point. Cause all you do is lie, lie, lie. Lie, lie, lie. Lie, 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 lie.
If I can make a comeback from being an ex-dope fiend, ex-alcoholic, a bum, used to sleep on everybody's sofa, and make M's, why so many of y'all broke?
Ayy, poppin' like I'm supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rent do. Speak a little something that you're into. I ain't tryna hear about what you been through. Like hold up.